Hello friends, here we will see the work The Silver Box written by John Galsworthy. If you did not subscribe my channel, please subscribe for more videos like this. The Silver Box is a three-act comedy, the first play by the English writer John Galsworthy. It was originally produced in London in 1906 and attracted much attention. In New York, it was first seen in 1907. In the play, the disappearance of a cigarette box, in the sense the silver box, leads to a comparison of the behavior of the son of a prosperous politician with that of an unemployed man and the exposure of attitudes of different social classes. Box summary. Mr. John Bathwick is an MP, Member of Parliament belonging to the Liberal Party, very jealous of his position and unwilling that it should be compressed in any way. His wife does not endorse his political views, and he is a typical lady of the upper class. They have a son, Jack. This young man is a pampered child of well to do parents. He is given to drinking, is extravagant in his expenses, and has all the vice of his class. In the sense, son is not in good way. He is too drinking and not in good mannered. Establishment of the Bathwicks consist of Marlowe, their manservant, Wheeler, their maidservant, and Mrs. Jones, their chairwoman, besides other. In the sense, she is also a maid servant. Now, past midnight of Easter Monday, Jack Barthwick comes home heavily drunk. He has his latchkey with him, for it appears he is usually in the habit of returning home late, unknown to his father or mother. He is so stupefied with the drink that he cannot find out keyhole. As he is thus engaged, a man named Jones, happening to pass by that place, helps Jack to open the door and get into the house. Jack goes in but returns almost immediately, inviting Jones into the house to have a drink, as he had no money with him to give for the help Jones had rendered. Jones is an unfortunate man without work, habituated to drink because of long unemployment, and happens to be the husband of the Bathwick's chairwoman. Jack goes straight to the dining room, followed by Jones. They drink whiskey there, and after some time, Jack falls asleep on sofa in the dining room. Jones has more whiskey from the decanter on the table. While so occupied, he finds on the floor a lady's purse. This purse has fallen out of the bag that Jack had been carrying, and which he had shown to Jones, and also given a hint as to how it had come into his possession. John suddenly realizes, though he had lost his sobriety, the world of difference between himself, the starved and hungry man, and Jack, the prosperous and well fed one. He is filled with bitterness, and out of spite, he takes away the silver cigarette box he finds on the whiskey tray and also the purse, and leaves the house. Jones took Jack's silver box, the silver cigarette box. Morning, the silver box is missing. When it cannot be found anywhere in the house, suspicion falls on Mrs. Jones, as she was alone for a while in the dining room, where the silver box was. As it transpires that her husband is a drunkard without employment, and there is perpetual want in their household. Everybody got it out on Mrs. Jones, who is a maid of Bathwick. Mr. John Bathwick thereupon engages a detective to trace the missing box and find out the thief. Previous to this, a young lady had arrived and had called to see Jack Bathwick. The father had seen her instead and learnt from her that his son had picked up her dance on Good Friday, was at her house the previous night, and being rather the worse for liquor, had a quarrel with her, and later at supper outside. What Jack did, Jack picked up that girl's silver cigarette box and appointed a detective to search the thief caught by detective. But the real incident is another. Jack took that silver cigarette box from a girl who fought last night. Detective goes to Mr. John Bathwick and informs him of the recovery of the box. He further adds that Mrs. John's husband had arrested that he had taken the silver box when Jack Bathwick, in an intoxicated state, had taken him into the house and given him whiskey and the night before. Additional information given by the detective that a sum of money and a silk purse had been found upon John's truly upset Mrs. Bathwick and makes Jack feel uneasy. A little later, Mr. Roper, his solicitor, comes. Mr. Bathwick acquaints him with all the particulars regarding what had happened. The solicitor advises Jack not to admit anything in the court beyond saying that he was asleep on sofa. Here, solicitor gives advice to Jack to say lying on that incident. The trial of Mrs. Jones and her husband takes place on Easter Wednesday next week. Mrs. John's innocence is truly established and she is let off. Johns admits that he took the box and assaulted the detective. He advances reasons in justification of his action, but they do not hold water with the trying magistrate. Jack Bathwick, with some slight hesitation at that outset, gives an absolutely false evidences. Mr. John Bathwick is revealed to find that the telltale purse, though it comes up as an exhibit during the trial, is not accepted by the magistrate as evidence of anything, as there was no reference to it in his papers. Accordingly, through his solicitor, he informs the court that he does not press the charge as to the box and suggests that the case may be dealt with as one of the disorder. The magistrate then sums up the charges against John and give him 1 month's hard labor. Jones makes an unavailing protest against the injustice meted out to him for the MP's son, though guilt of the same offence as he gets off scot-free by force. Here it shows the main theme of the story is the discrimination between upper class and the lower class people. Discrimination between rich and poor. Here MP's son is very rich and he has all the power, money power, people power, position, everything. But the poor unemployed person, he doesn't have anything and he gets punishment for the same offense what they did both. It's all about English summary of the silver box. Very interesting story. It has hidden meaning also. If you like this English explanation, let me know in the comment box. Also hit like button and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you one and all.